而今次我特登想抽出嚟嘅就係3條都係 essay type question。咁我呢就將呢個肺同埋葉嘅呢一條題目呢，就將佢改一改。咁多位大家好，我係梁 Sir。今次呢段片呢，我哋就嚟比較一下神經協調同埋激素協調有咩相似同埋唔相似嘅地方嘅。呢條題目呢，其實都相當之直白噶啦。實質啦，喺本書我哋係有呢個圖表嘅，咁只係爭咗佢抽翻邊一部分嚟問我哋咁解啫。咁今次啦，梗係要去考翻我哋有關於兩款協調嘅性質有咩唔同啦，佢哋各自傳遞嘅途徑又有咩分別啦，同埋啦去比較下佢哋要作出反應嘅時間究竟長定係短啦。咁呢條題目啦，除咗考呢啲概念啦，亦都考翻我哋全視技能。今次咧就係完整比較呢度啦，亦都提下大家啦。有關於比較嘅題目呢，其實佢唔係考你個內囊啊，即係入面嗰啲咩內分泌系統啊、神經系統啊諸如此類。實質啦係考緊我哋呢一啲條件啊。佢係問翻啦兩者嘅比較。嗱，今次我想你以信號嘅分子作為一個比較，以傳遞嘅途徑作為一個比較。咁所以啦，實質佢考你嘅係個條件，就唔係純粹話考個表入面嘅內容嘅。所以啦，我成日提我啲學生呢，要去溫呢類型嘅比較呢，你要所謂嘅記，所謂嘅背，唔係個內涵咁簡單，實質去學識比較，即係呢一啲條件。其實你係拿住個條件去噏翻入面嘅內容出嚟嘅。咁所以啦，第一個咯，信號分子咁啊，荷爾蒙協調啦，咁當然係關荷爾蒙或者激素事啦。Part A 呢，就係考評局話大家考生做得唔好嘅地方啦，因為有唔少嘅同學係咪當咗呢係一個電子嘅脈衝或者神經嘅脈衝，但係啦佢係信號嘅分子啊嘛，咁神經脈衝唔係分子嚟噶嘛，咁所以啦，實質個答案呢，就係神經遞質。就係喺突觸之間或者喺呢個神經肌肉接點之間出現嘅化學物質嚟嘅。然後啦就係去到傳遞途徑啦，非常之直接噶啦。神經協調嘅當然係神經元啦、神經線啦或者神經纖維啦，而荷爾蒙協調嘅就係血液或者話血管啦。然後啦就去到作出反應所需要嘅時間咯。神經嘅控制呢，係比起激素嘅控制係為之快嘅，咁所以我哋嗰啲眨眼啊、縮手啊、踢腳啊，比起控制血糖啊、釋放胰島素諸如此類嘅反應呢，一定係為之快噶啦。今次第一條啦就係一啲比較類型嘅題目，過往有冇類似嘅題型啊？梗係有啦。咁今年2024都有條 MC 啦，咁過往呢，都不乏比較題嘅，而今次我特登想抽出嚟嘅就係3條都係essay type question， 要你寫短文嘅。咁所以呢一條題目啦，頭先我提大家要溫書嘅時候，集中條件係因為佢可以將佢化成一條 essay type question 啦。咁啊講俾大家聽啦。咁我呢，就將呢個肺同埋葉嘅呢一條題目呢，就將佢改一改，就變成要你比較神經同埋激素協調咯。咁啊神經協調同埋激素協調呢，都係生物體內呢調節生理功能嘅兩大系統嚟嘅。今日要我哋比較下佢哋嘅機制啦，同埋討論下佢哋嘅結構同埋功能，即係適應性特徵咯。點樣令到佢哋各自啦係能夠擔當到佢哋嘅角色同埋功能嘅？咁除咗佢哋一啲相似之處之外呢，又要解釋一下點解神經協調係更加適合快速嘅反應嘅。其實就係呢個表嚟㗎咋。咁你話喂，係咪成個表背晒啊？你要諗清楚究竟題目要你答啲乜嘢。你係需要答啲咩條件落去，就唔係成個表掉晒落去就攞到呢11分。呢個就係考大家篩選概念嘅能力咯。咁我都會將呢一條題目嘅答案呢擺喺留言區噶，咁大家都可以去下載翻啦，去睇下啦。呢條題目有啲咩要寫，有啲咩唔使寫，咁啊又試下咯。咁你可以先去試下條題目，跟住對下答案，睇下自己寫得準唔準啦。好，跟住啦就去到每一條長題啦，我都會講嘅一點出發啦。今次嘅題目呢，就係協調做起點，就問翻啦神經協調啦同埋激素協調嘅。咁有關於神經協調啦，除咗神經遞質之外，神經脈衝大家都去諗噶嘛。咁神經脈衝雖然佢唔係信號分子，但係神經脈衝佢係沿住個神經元去傳遞嘅一個電荷上面嘅脈衝。咁除咗講個神經脈衝啦，自不然都要講下神經元自己本身啦，係咪？咁啊整個神經元啊，咁除咗講樹突啊、軸突啊、 髓鞘啊、神經纖維啊，咁究竟個神經脈衝傳遞嘅方向，你又點樣分辨得到呢？呢啲概念你又溫咗未呢？咁亦都有啦，神經遞質就講突觸啦，同埋神經肌肉接點，咁過往都有相關類型嘅長題目嘅，咁啊快手睇下片溫下書咯。跟住啦，去到激素協調，咁啊有經過激素啦，佢哋喺血管度游走啦，佢冇一個特定嘅管道去到佢哋嘅標靶器官嘅，或者標靶細胞嘅，咁所以啦，我哋就稱之為無管道嘅腺體啦。而呢啲腺體呢，我哋都有名，就係內分泌腺啦。咁講得內分泌腺，梗係可以考下外分泌腺啦。咁過往題目都有考過，就係胰臟啦。咁呢兩款嘅腺體，你又分唔分得清呢？跟住啦，就去到呢條題目，大家要留意嘅比較意識啦。咁今次咧就比較下傳遞嘅分子啊、傳遞嘅途徑啊、反應快慢啦。咁下次啦，可能就比較下個應用咯。反射動作啊，去協調血糖水平啊，究竟點樣做呢？咁過往啦，糖尿病呢啲大家一定要溫書噶啦。咁同埋頭先都提過大家嘅條件啊，今次啦我哋就比較翻神經協調同埋激素協調啦。咁下次啦比較下人類同埋花嘅繁殖系統啦，比較下木質部，比較下人皮部，咁又得唔得呢？咁呢啲題目大家又有冇信心呢？咁啊快手睇下片溫下書咯噃。Student, I'm Mr. Liang. So in this question, we are going to do the comparison between the nervous control and the hormonal control. So in this question is a very straightforward question because you can see that you can find all the comparison in this table in the textbook, right? So for the concept checking, we need to recall the nature of both coordination, and then we need to identify the transmission pathway and realize the difference between the response time for the nervous control and the hormonal control. And apart from those comparison, those concepts, we need the synoptic skills. If we need to do the comparison, we need to do the complete comparison. And for this video, I would like to recall the idea about the criteria. So you can see that we have the whole table for the comparison between the hormonal coordination and the nervous coordination. And I always tell the student when we are doing the revision for those comparison questions, so the most important part is the criteria rather than the content inside. So you have the criteria, and then you may just remember one part of the concept of for hormonal control, or the system involved is the criteria. And I know that for the hormonal control, we need the endocrine system. So which kind of system we need for the nervous control? So it is the nervous system. Something like this. So try to get the idea about the criteria for comparison. So for the first part, signaling molecules, surely for the hormonal control is the chemical signal, hormones. However, for the nervous coordination, most of the students, they claim that it should be the electrical nature molecules is the nervous system. Not really, because nervous system, they are not the molecules. Also stated in the candidate's performance report. Most of the candidates, they think that nervous system is the signaling molecules, which is wrong. So the answer should be the neurotransmitter. They are the signaling molecules. We learned this concept in synapse and in the neuromuscular junction. Secondly, for the transmission pathway, so for the hormone is transported in the bloodstream, in the blood vessels. And for the transmission pathway, so we have the neuron, nerve or the nerve fiber. And then for part C, the comparison of the time taken to induce the response. So we know that the blinking or the reflex action, they are much faster than the hormonal control, just like secretion of the insulin or the glucagon for the blood glucose level regulation. So nervous coordination is faster than the hormonal coordination. And in the past, there were also comparison questions. Just like this year, 2024, we have one question about the comparison between the reflex and the tropism. Also, we have the long question, and especially, I extract these three questions. They are all the essay type question. Comparison between the cell division, comparison between the blood vessels, and the comparison between the gas exchange in the lungs and in the leaves. And I modify one of them to be this question, possible question variation. So we are going to compare the nervous coordination and the hormonal coordination. They are the two major systems in the organism that regulate the body functions. And we are going to compare their mechanisms and discuss how their structural and functional adaptations allow them to achieve their roles effectively. And despite their similarities, explain why nervous coordination is better suited for the rapid response. So you can try to answer this question, and I will post the suggested answer for this essay type question. Actually, it's the modified question for the 2016 essay type question. And just try it and check your concept. And then let's talk about the curriculum mapping. So we start the question about the coordination, including the nervous coordination and the hormonal coordination. And for the nervous coordination, we can talk about the nerve impulse along the neuron. And then the question, it can ask you about the adaptive features of a neuron. Axon, dendron, nerve fiber, and myelin sheath, those structures, what are they and what are the functions? And also the direction about the nerve impulse transmission. And then we can talk about the neurotransmitter across the synapse and the neuromuscular junction. So there were different questions about the synapse. So watch the video and do the revision. And for the hormonal coordination, we talk about the hormones. They are transported, carried in the bloodstream, in the blood vessels. You can recall the terms ductless gland in the hormonal control, and then it is the endocrine gland, endocrine system. So after we talk about the endocrine gland, surely we need to talk about the exocrine gland. Just like for the 2022 long question, we check both concepts for the pancreas, right? For this question, we are doing the comparison. For this question, we are talking about the signaling molecules, transmission pathway, and the reaction time. So maybe next time we are talking about the application for the reflex action, for the regulation of the blood glucose level. You can watch the video and do the revision about the concept. And last but not least, we are talking about the criteria. This time, we are comparing the nervous coordination and the hormonal coordination. Or next time, we can compare the human and the plant reproductive system. Or we can compare the xylem and phloem vessels. So all these concepts, are you familiar with them?